힘을 내봐 소리를 질러봐
다 같이
힘내봐봐 라바 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 라바
모두 외쳐봐
화이팅!
힘차게
That looks bad. I think I broke my leg. Is that blood? Someone call an ambulance. Stop dancing and help me! Larva! Larva is a CGI animated South Korean series made by Tubin. These guys, starring two larvae. I mean, the show's called Larva. What the hell do you expect? It's red and yellow, which are butterfly. I think. The show doesn't really specify, but the wiki says that they're caterpillars, and they're sometimes in cocoons and they evolve. So I'm gonna just say they're caterpillar and go with that. As they go on their day-to-day adventures, trying to figure out the world and explore the world around them. I messed it up so bad. Larva currently has 5 seasons and a movie. There's also this weird special tie-in thing that I also think is a movie, but I'm not entirely too sure. I did a little bit of research on it, but whatever. It's 5 seasons in a movie and this thing. Haven't seen them. Probably will at some point. Just not sure when. But in the 5th season, Red and Yellow become parents to an adopted bee, I think. So I guess they're actually... Yeah. Okay, so where to begin? First there's Yellow. Whoops! How'd those get in there? It's, for my casting kit. Yellow is one of the main characters. He's dumb, naive, but he's got a good heart. He, like a lot of the other characters, like to eat. A lot of them like to eat, now that I think about it. He tends to fart and blow snot a lot. By the way, Larva's got a ton of gross out humor, so it's not too bad, but if you're squeamish or hate that type of humor, then you might want to give the show a pass. I eventually got over it. It's not the worst. Anyways, joining Yellow is his best friend Red, the smaller one. He's kind of a dick. But he usually gets his comeuppance in the end, so when he's in the wrong, it balances itself out. Despite his Richardness, that's my word, I invented it! He cares for Yellow and gets upset if he goes too far by hurting him, eventually trying to make it up to Yellow afterwards. They're like brothers. Or an abusive spouse. Whichever way you want to look at it. Red and Yellow also have a love for these sausages. The show calls it a ham, but come on, that's a sausage. A notable detail is that Red and Yellow are greedy, constantly stealing from each other and other characters. A larger detail is that they're both gluttons. They like to eat. And they will do absolutely anything for a piece of food, even risking their own lives for it. And I mean, anything for food. It's kind of wild the lengths that they'll go for it. Now, for the most part, the rest of the cast stays about the same up until season 4 onwards for some reason, with some minor changes here and there. But I'm just gonna go through the main stage for the first 3 seasons as spend the most time with them, and plus season 4 onwards counts as spin-offs for some reason. The first is Brown. He's this dung beetle. He's one of my favorite characters, despite being a lot of gross out. And I hate gross out, but for Larva I tend to make an exception, which says a lot. He's a pretty ugly character, but at first glance he's kind of hard to look at. But I like him because he's got that ugly guy swagger. You know, he's ugly and he don't care. He shows it. He He's got charisma. A big ball of poop. Which he loves a lot. He likes poop. I mean, he's a dung beetle, so you know. It shouldn't be a surprise. Also, he's so dirty that he's literally golden. Like, blindingly so. Dude can be seen from space. And there's Black. I'm sure you're noticing a theme with the name of the characters. Usually the names are based off of what color they are. Black is an Atlas beetle, I think. The creators said he's something else, as the beetle part is actually removable, and underneath is actually the... What the f*** is this thing, and how do I set it on fire? Black originally started off as a token bully character, but ended up being a bro. He's a pretty decent character. I like him. He's nice. And then there's Pink, Yellow's girl, his friend, who basically acted as Yellow's love interest for the first 3 seasons. Pink is lively and kind, and when Red tries to make her move on her, she gets mad. She helps Red and Yellow sometimes, but overall she's the protagonist of the show. Red is always trying to make her like him. In their first episode appearance, Love, she was so annoyed by this that she grabbed her antenna and threw him on the ground. Oh, and there's Violet, this banana slug, or ghost slug. I think he actually said, I think the show actually said he was an alien. Heck, I thought he was an alien. I tend to forget he exists sometimes. He doesn't appear too much. He's got a large bowling pin body and dark purple spots. He's also got this weird, creepy mouth thing and a sharp, long, sharp set of teeth, like a shark, like an alien. One of those, I don't know, some sort of weird horror sci-fi monster. You see this thing and you would want to turn the other way. I can tell you that much. He's kind of a friend to them, kinda, like. He's nice to them, but he will also think rather of himself and opposed to the other guys. And Rainbow, a slow snail who's actually a muscular Giga Chad. His face is pretty weird, as his nose is also his mouth. Like, if you look at like the human form, like the little mouth thing at the bottom, that isn't actually his mouth. His nose is the mouth, so his tongue comes out of that. It looks really weird. Kind of weird. But he is super strong. And his strength is immense. So powerful in the fact that it could rival... Okay, he's not really that strong, but he exercises in the crowd. He could probably beat Goku. Who am I kidding? Rainbow would one-shot him.
The f*** did you say about me, you little daya?
I said what I said. I regret nothing. There's a fly named Blue and a bee named Bee. There's not really much to say about them. They're not really that important, so just thought I'd mention them anyway. I should probably also mention Ivory, since I mentioned Violet. He's a stick bug from season 3. His whole thing is that he's very weak and brittle and can't go 2 seconds without breaking a hip or something. He could literally dive from 5 feet away or break something. And you could just breathe and he'd break every bone in his body somehow. Oh god, I'm so sorry! He does have that Chadwick arm pump though. At least there's that. Multiple antagonists throughout the Larva series. I'll just go over the constants. Green, he's a frog from seasons 1 and 3. He shows up in two once. Prism from season 2. That's actually named after a color, not named. Yeah, I gotta revise this script. Gray, he's my favorite, since he tends to team up and hang out with them sometimes. It's kind of fun. He's different. By the way, did you know that mice eat insects? Because I did not. Until after seeing Larva. As DC tries to constantly eat the insects. It's news to me. You learn something new. And finally, there's this bird and dog from season 2. Maroon and Prussian. What the fuck is a Prussian? Oh, it's a type of blue. Go figure. Another fun aspect of Larva is the movie parodies, which I believe started in Season 1 with the Yellow Terminator. Pretty self-explanatory on what the parody was. Other parodies include Avatar, The Avengers, and Power Rangers, which they did twice. Second time was in Season 4, and I'm not going into Season 4 because I said I wasn't. It's 1 and 3 specifically, nothing else. Season 1 takes place in the sewer, and a lot of events happen in the sewer. You kind of get a good look at the sewer. It's not a bad locale. Season 2 takes place in a house, and that one's my favorite. In the location, it's kind of compact, but it's very nice. And Season 3 takes place in New York, as that season is called Larva in New York. It's also one of my favorite locales of the series because there's just so many things you can get up to in like New York. And so, every episode ends with this little 2D animation thing that kind of acts as like an after credits thing. Like it's like what happens after the episode ends. It's kind of neat for an episodic show because you don't normally see that in a lot of episodic shows. It's pretty unique for Larva. It'd be cool if other shows did this kind of thing. Fun little detail I found charming is that Red and Yellow and any other characters that don't have arms, they use their tongues for holding and grabbing things. It adds a nice little detail of grounded reality in such an unhinged show. That's all I got, really. All in all, Larva is a fun and interesting series, and I'd say give it a watch if you're into weird and wacky cartoons, like really wacky, bizarre even. It's quite of a hell of a ride. There's also some sentimental moments in there. The first 3 seasons are on YouTube, and the rest is on Netflix, so go watch it. So how'd you like the first episode of the things I'd like to point out? I'm not sure if I should do some sort of ranking system near the end of the review or not. I mean, I could try and think of something, if you guys want it. Also, let me know if you want me to look at a certain thing, or have any ideas for the openings. Type a funny enough comment, and I'll make it the MVC, Most Valued Comment. I'd also like to thank Fluffy Crisp on X for making the thumbnail for this video. Thanks again, buddy, friend, etc. Anyway, I'll hope you enjoyed this probably pile of crap. And if you want to come back for more and subscribe, hit the bell icon and all that other YouTube shit. Okay? Peace! Seriously, how is this a ham? That's a sausage if I've ever seen one. I mean, did they just look at this and they're like, hey, that's a ham. I mean, look at this ham. It's whoa! Uh-oh.
Yeah, boy.
Alright, hang on. I'm not a ghost. I'm not a ghost! I'm not a ghost! Ah!
Get your ass back here, boy!